opening day of Flounder here in North Carolina. We got us a nice box of 20 to 25 inches today. Y'all let us know down in the comments how you did. Fish on.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Bill Hitchcock. This is day 2 of the North Carolina flounder season. In today's program, we're going to concentrate on day 1 of North Carolina's flounder program. Hopefully you enjoyed that little cold open by Really Living Charters out of Atlantic Beach, showing off those really pretty fish. Well, guess what? A lot's been going on up and down the coast of North Carolina. And when it comes to flounder, they've been some really big flounders caught. There's been a specific area along the coast of North Carolina where the flounders have been caught and where they have not been caught, and we're going to go over that. Big Pompano have returned again. 5-pound plus Pompano, they're back. Big drum fishing, catching continues. We got a great pier and offshore fishing report to get on its way. And is another hurricane on its way? We're going to get into that. We've got some sea surface temperatures to get out to you. Some big changes have just occurred over the past 3-4 days, which is showing that we're transitioning right on into the fall time of the year, which means fall time fishing is about to show up. And it's also going to show us, this is what I was alluding to earlier, where the flounders are being caught. Yeah, sea surface temperatures. Right now, I'm going to go into the hurricane forecast from the National Hurricane Center. Okay, this is Tuesday morning, September 2nd. This is the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center. You can see the red, and they are saying that there is a 70% chance of tropical formation through the next 7 days. Now, this is what I want to show you. We're going to go to the GFS model, and we're going to start off on September 10th and show you the long-range projections from the GFS. Again, this is long-range projections starting on September 10th. So I'm going to go on and play this and let you see what the long-range projection is. You see that there are showing a hurricane. It's a Category 3 hurricane, which will be going by the coast of North Carolina around the 11th and 12th. Let me see if I'll bring this on back here or bring this forward here so you can take a look at that again as it comes on by. Again, this is around the 11th, this is around the 12th. Around the 13th, it stays well offshore of North Carolina with this long-range projection off of the GFS. Unfortunately, I could not get the Euro, the ECMWF, pulled up to get all the information. So just beware. We're just on standby. We'll just keep you informed as to what's going on. Just keep an eye to the sky. Always go to the National Hurricane Center for all of your hurricane information. If there is a hurricane, they don't go more than 5 days out, but we'll keep you informed. And again, I want to stress that was the GFS long-range forecast, which the ECMWF is the more reliable. I could not download all the information in time for air. So just as a heads up, somewhere around September 11th, 12th, around that time period, it looks like we might have a hurricane going on by us. We will keep you posted. Now, let's take a look at the sea surface temperatures. Remember these temperatures you're about to see because it relates or shows up on where particular fish, like flounder, are being caught. I'd like to thank Satfish, the satellite fishing technology company, for supplying us this information that we're getting ready to go over with. You can get this in real time, so go to satfish.com, satfish.com. A couple of things I want to point out. Of course, it's much cooler up here in the northern Outer Banks, the effects of the Labrador Current, but the real thing I wanted to point out is look up here, the Albemarle Sound and the Pamlico Sound. Just a week or so ago, less than 2 weeks ago, the water temperatures here were 85 degrees plus. And by the way, it's a friendly reminder, right here you'll see the actual water temperatures being displayed here. So here we got like 76 degree water temperatures. From Ocracoke going north is like a dividing line where it starts warming back up to 78, 79 degrees. But still up in the head ends of these rivers, you see that we have water temperatures of 81, 82 degrees. And if I can zoom in a little bit closer, you can see in these, the smaller we go, the warmer it gets. Basically, so we still have like 82 to 83 degree water temperatures, which are stemming off the Pamlico Sound. Interestingly enough, though, that this is where the large drum are being caught in this warmer water here out of the Neuse going into the Pamlico, and in the cooler waters around the Oregon Inlet area. So drum like it, whether year-round fishery. The other thing I wanted to point out is here we're going off of 76 degree beach water temperatures. It's here around 78 degrees, but once we hit Cape Lookout, this is where we get the 80-degree, maybe 81-degree water temperatures with the warmest from Cape Fear to the South Carolina border. What's so interesting is you're about to find out in the fishing report, this is where all the flounder catches have occurred in the coast of North Carolina, day one of our open season of flounder. Is it a coincidence? Do they like the warmer waters? I don't know. You tell me. I do want to come out here to the Gulf Stream and show that we got waters up to 85 degrees. These are eddies and currents. Let me show you this real quickly. I'm not going to dive too much into it, but remember where this eddy and current, where this warm, cold water is. Let's go in the ocean circulation. You see? This is what guys are looking for when they're looking for a weed line. They oftentimes will see it or find it off of temperature, but this is the rotation of cool water and warm water eddies. Let me get back into wind. I want to go into this real briefly for today. When I'm doing this on September 2nd, Tuesday, you can see we got a northeasterly wind just about everywhere. Here in the landmass, inshore, offshore, we have a northeasterly wind. Tomorrow, we have pretty much the same thing. And up here is where it's displayed, the wind. We've got winds that are 11, 12 knots. Tomorrow, you can see just off of Hatteras here, 13, 14 knots off of the Crystal Coast area. Same thing down here in the Cape Fear area, a little bit calmer at 10 knots. But once we get into Thursday, winds start shifting. If your landmass is coming out of the south, if you're down here in the Crystal Coast area, it's coming out of the south. If you're here in the Hatteras area, it's more out of the east. So keep an eye to the sky because this will change on a timely basis. I'd like to thank Satfish, satellite fishing technology people, for supplying this information for us. You can get it too. Go to satfish.com. Satfish.com. We'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank Satfish, the satellite fishing technology company, for giving us that information. Please go to their website, satfish.com. You can access some stuff there. They do it in real time, and I'm only showing you a fraction of all the things that they do. All right, let's get on with the fishing report. Salty Waters OBX fishing in the morning. Oh, God, I love this. This is two different trips on one day. In the morning, he said, fun morning trip catching trout with Katie, Josh, and kiddos. Always a good time seeing you guys. In the afternoon, it took a while, but the boys got the drum yesterday afternoon. Good to see you, Troy. Thanks, fellas. So, that's the kind of charter I like. In the morning, we got one crowd. They're going after one type of fish, trout. And then in the afternoon, got a different crowd going after a different type of fish, the big red drum. Really like to see that. Marsh Madness. Now, I'm putting this in the Outer Banks report, and you'll find out why. Marsh Madness is actually from Atlantic Beach, but listen to this. Say, we have decided to keep the boat in Pirates Cove until the white marlin fishing stops. Fished Friday and Saturday. Had some good action, catching 8 of 10 whites on Friday, 7 of 11 yesterday, Saturday. 4 or 5 boats had really good fishing yesterday, catching 12 or more. Now I've showed you their boat. I'm showing the flags on the boat. As we talk about a lot, the blue flag means a white marlin. When it's upside down, that means a release. So congratulations to those folks. The white marlin activity will keep going until that water cools down too much. Now Hatteras Rodanthe Pier. Some puppy drum being caught today. Bluefish too. Bill got a nice one. That's the drum. And look at the rough conditions in the back there. Every day doesn't have to be, well, particularly drum, it seems like. The snottier the conditions, the better the catches. So don't let adverse conditions necessarily shy you away. Hookup charters out of Hatteras Harbor Marina. This is as pretty of a day as you could ask for, with great fishing and clamming. The ocean is showing more signs of fall every day and is starting to come together. Note the Spanish tuna, shark, and clams, diversity and fun. Now that was from a couple of days ago. Yesterday it was kind of windy, but again, this is the type of diversity I really like seeing out of the charter boat captains. Spanish mackerel, tuna, shark, and clams. You don't normally hear all of those things together in one report. Frank and friends out of Avon, North Carolina. They're reporting from yesterday, say another windy day out there, but nice and sunny. We heard of blues and sea mullet today. Blues are biting, caught on bottom rigs with mullet for bait. We have seen a few false albacore caught over the past week. Interesting. Spectacular Hatteras light tackle fishing. 5 boats split up a big party sponsored by Chris Trulio for his workers, and the bluefish and drum were biting pretty good for all the boats. I had Chase, Tony, Caden, and Mitchell in my boat, and there was no lack of action on a very, very windy day. Again, fish like drum, they seem to like the snotty weather. Norman Miller, who was a very famous drum fisherman out of Ocracoke from years gone by, I went out with him in the 80s. The first time I went out with him was at nighttime. We were in Ocracoke Inlet and in Portsmouth Island, off of Portsmouth Island. And my whole idea of what I thought he was thinking is just find the worst conditions and anchor there. Because that's basically what we did. All right, let's see what do we got here. Hatteras Jack out of Rodanthe says, Corey just landed a stud pompano right here in Rodanthe. And that, friends, is what we call a slab. These fish are usually the snack-sized gold bars of the surf, but Corey went full-on treasure hunter and struck gold with this one. And again, it's one of the most fantastic fish you can eat. They didn't give a weight, but it looked like the fork length off of that picture was about 14.5 inches. Now, speaking of pompano, red drum tackle in Buxton, Kara reports 5-pound, 6-ounce pompano caught by a 4-year-old. Emerson, that's her name. She casted, fought, and landed all by herself. You go, girl. They say Spanish and Blues in the mornings at the Point and Ramp 55. So again, I don't know what's magical about Ocracoke and Hatteras. It started last May with these very large pompano of 5 pounds plus like this. So congratulations to those folks. Now, Back Bar, that's B-A-K, Bar Sport Fishing out of Frisco. They say, excellent day with the Salvage America crew. We had a mixed bag today of red drum, some slot and overslot, bluefish, Spanish mackerel, and false albacore. Yay. Oh, I like it. Danny Wadsworth. First, we're going to show you a picture. He says, our 3-person limit. Well, he also sent me a little bit of a video here. Take a look at this flounder. He says, this flounder was dark on both sides. It's from Danny Wadsworth. He's retired offshore captain, now fishes for fun around Roanoke Island. So it's not very often that you see a flounder with one color on both sides. All right, a viewer, Jason Hubbard, he says, we are at it again. We caught some nice drum and flounders. Sandy caught her first bull drum, 47 inches, 38 pounds, 4 ounces. We've even doubled up on flounder. We're down here until September 15th. We will keep the pictures coming. Yes, Jason Hubbard, keep the pictures coming. Let me know, not exactness. Well, if you can tell me exactly where you are, great, but you didn't say whereabouts you were fishing. Ocracoke, trade winds. I said, Matt from Philly reports big bluefish at Ocracoke South Point today. 5-year-old Baylor Balance of Englehart, North Carolina, caught an impressive 3-pound pompano in the Pamlico Sound off of a private boat behind Ocracoke Island today. Now, as a reminder, last week I was talking about that in Ocracoke and Hatteras, you were hearing these catches of the drum, of pompano, of speckled trout, everything was like, and bluefish, everything was sound side. So don't necessarily think that it's just going to happen ocean side. Now, Chase and Tail, bait and tackle out of Atlantic Beach on the Atlantic Beach Causeway, a 10.5-pound doormat. Blake Sidon with a hammer of a flounder he caught off the port wall on live minnows. Lawson Murphy catching a 6.5-pound flounder and a 7.3-pound red drum to go with it. Now that port wall in Moorhead, you're fishing in 40, 50, 60 feet of water. There used to be a fisherman went by the name of Monk. He fished out of a 14-foot, I think it was, little old green John boat. Consistently caught 8, 9, 10-pound plus flounders there at the port wall, and that's been 30 plus years ago. And one of the reasons why the port wall is so good for fish like flounders is there's a lot of structure on the bottom. There's stuff on the port wall that go, whoops, and then getting it back, and it creates structures for the fish. Let's see. Here we go. Edward Tomlin. He says, well, let me roll this video first.
Hey everybody, it's Captain Ed Tomlin with Dave's Crazy Adventures. I just want to show y'all something. Be interesting, be a good fishing report. So Bill, tell him what kind of fish that is. Give him the information. We'll see y'all next time. Stay tuned.
All right, what kind of fish is this? We got a drum, we got a flounder, and you know what it is? It's a stargazer. Yeah, it'll give you nightmares. Look at these pictures of stargazers. Like, we don't want to see that. No, we don't. But he caught one with his flounder and his drum. He says, this is what Edward says. He says, hey, Bill, I went out for a quick trip for flounder and a slot drum on Harker's Island. The stargazer was just something different and interesting. Hard to believe that thing zapped the snot out of you too. Yeah, it do. But 3/16 of an ounce blue water candy jig head, big part of twist your hook and sideways for, he says big part is twist your hook sideways for better hookup for flounder. Now that's, well, turn it upside down. Flounder, where most fish are like this, biting, flounders are like this. So that's why whenever I flounder fish, like with, I like using finger mullet, live finger mullet, big ones this time of year, I'll go through the cavity between the eyes like this. So the hook is sideways to match the flounder's mouth. I hope you can see what I'm doing. All right, but Captain Edward Tomlin, Crazy Adventures, Harker's Island, North Carolina. All right, we got a viewer, Sarah Dargan. Says, we enjoy watching your videos. Jim Dargan caught his this wahoo plus 2 kings 35 miles off of Beaufort Inlet. This picture was taken at Portside Marina. And if you're from Cardigan, Portside, there we go. Breakwater charters out of Morehead City. Labor Day fun on our half-day trip this morning. Fat Spanish mackerel and a hammerhead shark. The day before, it was wahoo and tuna. Captain Austin's guide service, oh boy, these guys have been drumming like crazy for the past 2-3 weeks. Drum, drum, and more drum. All I can say is call Captain Austin up and congratulations to that crowd. All right, Really Living Charters, you saw that at the very beginning out of Atlantic Beach, the flounders that they caught. So go out and get you some. Call and give Really Living Charters a call. A viewer sent this in, Sarah and Josh Bryant. Says, hey Bill, good day out of Bogue Inlet. On August 30th, we took my father out and caught lots of good bottom fish and then found a weed line coming back in and decided to troll and caught this 40-inch barracuda on a reaper rig. We never thought to eat barracuda until July when we caught one in Honduras on a fishing charter, and it was actually delicious. We're pan-searing it tomorrow. Well, I got that email. I said, tell me how it was, because barracuda, as far as I'm concerned, they're stinky fish. You can smell them when they're in the water. So I asked them to tell me about it. They're cooking, and they said it was delicious. We ended up making a homemade pineapple salsa to top them off. So give barracuda a try. Viewer J.D. Peel, wahoo, out of Morehead, yay. Now this is something else I want to get more of. We got a viewer question. Vernon Harris, he says, I've got some free time in November from grandpa duties. There you go. And would like to come do some kayak fishing in North Carolina. Can you recommend some inshore areas that might be productive? Well, he's kayak fishing. He didn't say, what fish in particular. So, but I do want to bring up, there's a wonderful Facebook page called Casting Coastal Kayak Fishing. It's dedicated just for that. So go take a look at that. And if anybody has recommendations for fishing on the inside, he doesn't, again, he didn't say in Carteret County, he didn't say Brunswick County, he didn't say Cape Fear River or anything. But if somebody has some productive areas for kayak fishermen, please let me know, because I want to get that information out to folks. And if you have a question of any sort, ask. I'll be glad to find out for you. BillHitchcock@mail.com, BillHitchcock@mail.com. Now in the southern area, Corey Hardison measured 17 inches, caught in the Cape Fear ICW near Carolina Beach. Love watching the show, by the way. Viewer, her name is Muffin. He says, good morning, Bill. First day of flounder season, and hubby and I decided to go out and try our luck at 7:30 this morning. I caught this beauty, 15 1/4 inch, weighing 1.6 pounds, caught at Surf City Intercoastal Waterway. It was caught with live shrimp. We love your show. I wait every day for alerts for a new one. Thank you for all the awesome information. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Muffin. And then she says, and yes, my name really is Muffin. So congratulations. She made comment about shrimp. The shrimp are still thick. It's been a month that I know of that on the inside waters, the shrimp have been here. And of course, everything likes eating shrimp. Folks have caught mahi-mahi, dolphin offshore, looked in their belly and they're full of nothing but shrimp. So let's go on with Ryan's Inshore Adventures out of Sneed's Ferry. He says, awesome trip this evening. Redfish, flounder, croaker. We put some serious numbers in the boat. All the shrimp you could want as well. So there he supports that. Surf City Pier. Trace takes the lead in the Who's Braggin' Now contest with his 3.13 pound flounder. We've heard of several flounder being caught, but only a few that was big enough to keep. But there's some out there. Now, Johnny Mercer's Pier, opening day of flounder season was good success. They have a tournament. It's during the entire flounder season here in North Carolina of 2 weeks, 14 days. He says, Tony Carter with a black jacket is our current leader of the biggest flounder at a little over 2 pounds. Colin Stencil with a nice bluefish. Keith Rayner catches a 3.48 pound Spanish mackerel using live bait. Now, we got a video fishing report from Matt there at the pier. Let's take a listen.
Hi, this is Matt Johnson, Johnny Mercer's Fishing Pier for an update. I want to thank everyone for giving us Labor Day weekend and coming down here and just enjoying it. It's been a very successful weekend. We appreciate your support. As far as the flounder fishing tournament, Tony Carter has the largest flounder and Mike Thoy has the smallest one. The tournament runs for 14 days. If you want to sign up, you got to go to the front desk at the tackle shop. They'll be able to get you in and get you all the information you need to know. As far as big game fishing, been kind of quiet. They did catch a king in the last day, so maybe it's a sign of things to come. As far as Spanish going, a little early, a little late. You got to work at it a little bit, but there's some fish around, and it's time to try on that as well. Obviously, the northeast winds are cooling off. As far as the ocean goes, you can tell we have absolutely amazing conditions for flounder fishing. I can't tell you what we're getting out of it. I got some pictures of a sheephead and some other assorted things, maybe a spadefish here and there, but it should be getting better. Remember, when you fish at Johnny Mercer's Pier, size matters, you matter. We look forward to seeing you at the pier. Thank you for the support and another amazing year. Thank you.
Skipping over to another pier down there, Jolly Roger Pier. It's a Here's June with a nice 31-inch drum, which he caught and released late yesterday. The pier had good action last night. We caught drum, blues, spots, croakers, and Virginia mullet. Curry Beach Pier, Mark Hale with a 4.5 pound flounder, rigged and ready fishing charters out of out of Supply. They too have a flounder tournament going on during the entire season of flounder here in North Carolina. And they said, what an incredible start to the Rigged and Ready Fishing Center Flounder Tournament. Yesterday was just day one of our 14-day long tournament, and the action at the scales did not disappoint. We saw some beautiful flounder brought in, and the competition is already heating up. Now, although they didn't state any poundages of those flounders, I was looking at those pictures zooming in, and I saw flounders over 8 pounds. So congratulations to those folks down there in the Supply, North Carolina, doing some fishing. Now, a viewer, Pinkowski, I got no problem with the last name, I think it's Cahy. He said, now listen to this. And remember, hopefully you remember where the warm waters were when we're showing the satfish sea surface temperatures. It was from Cape Lookout south. The further south you went to the South Carolina border, the warmer it got, and now this is where the flounder are. He said, had to head on down to South Carolina, North Carolina border, fish the Little River Inlet. One of those fish, he says, was 34 inches. The other was 28 inches, caught on finger mullet. So, is it coincidence that the warmer waters have the flounder, or is it not? Who knows? All right, email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Send me your pictures, send me your video. By the way, the best way to email me video, people get frustrated because the file sometimes is too big. There is a free service called WeTransfer. WeTransfer. It is free. You can upload. They'll give you your video. They will give you an email address. You can send it, or a link, excuse me. Send it via email. I get it that way. I can download it lickety-split. That's the best way to send videos is through WeTransfer. I don't care if you're a charter boat captain. I don't care if you're a pier, if you're a bait and tackle shop, if you're an experienced fisherman, a brand new fisherman. Send me your pictures, send me your videos, give us some information, give us some context as to what you're fishing with, where. It doesn't have to be exactly where, conditions, things of that nature. This is what really helps all of us in our venturing out to go fishing. Again, billhitchcock@mail.com. All right, that was day one of the 2-week flounder season we have here in North Carolina, and it has been very, very good. Can't wait to see what happens on day 2. I'm Bill Hitchcock. Until next time, see ya.